Enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You'll never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts. Just beware of the thorns.
Hello everybody, Harvey Talks Prison here. So I want to thank you guys for all your requests for video suggestions, and I'm going to try to work through them, and at least I got them all now in one spot, and so I can just go back and look. So we're going to do the one. I think I'm going to make this a combination. Somebody wanted me to do a video on the effects of people in prison and people on the outside and what people on the inside are going through. And I'm also going to add a story in there about some of the things that prisoners do. Not all of them, but some of them. So let's get into this. There's some prisoners, and I've said this before, that they refuse visits and stuff. It's not because they don't want visits from their loved ones. It's they don't want to deal with that roller coaster, you know, going up on a visit and having to leave and this and that. And I understand that because that was bad, you know. There for a while, I was thinking about knocking off contacts with my people because, you know, what was the use? You know, having them come up, you know, every weekend for who knows how long. I was doing a life sentence. And they begged me not to do that, you know, and I said, man, I don't want to put you guys through this. And they said that they needed that. My parents and my brother said they needed to come and see me, and so I let them, you know. I gave in to them. But there's some people that won't. There's some people in prison that get really hooked on different drugs or whatever. Or maybe they just want more and more money. So they'll write, whether they have family supporting them or not, they may try to find pen pals that they can end up conning. Not all of them are like it. Some of them just want, just about every prisoner I know likes writing, well, back then they did, likes writing people on the outside, you know, see what's going on, and especially females. And sometimes that's all they just want, is just to get letters from somebody. And to hear from somebody, you know, call them once in a while. But there's some that will, they'll get all these pen pals, and their whole thing is to try to get them to send money. And that's why I'm getting ready to tell you this story. RickyDavis, you guys can look him up. He's a POS as far as I'm concerned. I didn't know that at the time. I wish I had it. Of course, things might have turned out differently. But he died in Potosi because he got out and committed a whole series of crimes with this woman. Horrendous crimes. I'm not going to go into it, but they made videos of it, their crimes, and some of the police couldn't even watch the videos all the way through. That's how bad they were. And so if you guys want to know about him, just Google him. But I'm going to tell you about him and what I know about him and everything. He worked out religiously, you know, like a lot of prisoners did. I mean, he's really into fitness, and like on leg days, he would do 500 step-ups. Now, I ain't talking about little ones. I'm talking about knee-high step-ups, and that's not counting the squats and everything else he did. So he's in pretty good shape, and he didn't look like one of those type that would do these messed up crimes, you know, these horrendous crimes. And I think he's from Kansas City area. I'm not for sure. I could be wrong about that. I should have looked into this a little bit. But it doesn't matter. It comes down to this story. So he was writing one woman, and I don't know, and you know, calling her and everything, getting visits from her, and I don't know if this was his girlfriend or his wife before he went to prison or not. But he started writing these other women and gay people, and the whole thing, and he told me this, the whole thing was to get money from him. And he even tried to, he said, hey man, I can get you some women to write, you know. I said, no, I'm good, man. I don't feel comfortable about that, you know. And but he would tell these women, he had 2 women he was writing, and he had a whole string of gay people he was writing. But they was all like way in other states and maybe even other countries. But he would tell these women, when he wanted to visit one, he would tell the other one that he had visiting restriction and couldn't get any visits. And so he'd visit with the one for a while, and then he'd tell that one that he was visiting, I just got put on visiting restriction, I can't visit for a while, you know. And then he'd go and have the other one visit him. Well, one day, my parents and my brother came up, and RickyDavis was sitting at the table right next to us. And there was a woman there visiting him. And all of a sudden, there was this other woman standing there, comes walking up to the table and goes, "What is this?" I mean, loud. And, you know, we couldn't help but turn and look. And you could just see Ricky's face. It just blanched, kind of, you know. And he goes, just kind of looks down for a minute. Then he looks up and he goes, "I finally been caught." Well, not only did that woman walk back out, but the one that he was visiting gets up and walks out. And so, I actually thought it was kind of funny. I mean, not on the women's part, but that he got caught, you know. So I get done with my visit and I go back, you know, and I see him on the yard, and I walked up to him. I said, "Man, that was really messed up, Ricky." He goes, "What could I do? I got busted, you know." I said, "You had too much on your plate, I guess." And he said, "Well, I still got these other people I'm writing to for money, you know, so it's no big deal." And but I just wanted to tell, I told this story on a live, I think, but I just wanted to tell that story. But people in prison that get in debt, the people out there on the streets need to understand, when you go to prison, if you go to prison, you can't get in debt, because the people you owe are going, they're going to want their money, and they're going to get their money one way or another. Trust me. And so stay away from that gambling and all the other stuff. But anyway, so some of the threats are real. When people are calling home saying, "Hey, I owe money, and if I don't pay them, this is going to happen," they're telling the truth. But some people are using it as a game. Nothing is happening to them, and they'll have they'll call somebody, whether a loved one or somebody that they're writing, and just make up this story, saying, you know, my life is in danger and I need money, or, you know, I'm in trouble. And they may even have one of their friends get on the phone and say, yeah, it's going to be like that, you know, kind of validate it when it's nothing but BS. But some of it is, I'm not trying to make light of it, but some of it is really, it's real. I mean, they're telling the truth. So, if you go to prison, stay away from the, I've always said to stay away from the drugs, the gambling, the boys, anything that can get you in debt or get you in a wreck. Try to stay away from the store man too, because that's an endless cycle. You go and borrow something from the store man, say a bag of coffee. You owe him 2 now. So you go to the store and you buy 2 bags of coffee, whatever it is. You might even buy 1 or 2 for yourself, and you pay him these 2 bags of coffee that you owe him. Soon you're back out of coffee, and you gotta go to him again. And it's just endless, you know. In the same way, you know. And usually, it's people get more in coffee. You know, they get like sweets, you know, snacks, something to snack on. Especially at night when they're in the cell, they may want something to snack on. And I ain't trying to put down the store man. You know, I had several friends that was a store man. I was a store man for a short while. But it's an endless cycle once you get in that debt. You know, I had people just continuously owing me, you know. And there was one person I knew that didn't get a lot of money in, so I put a limit on what he came and got from me, because I just knew, you know. And I'd tell him, hey, you can't get any more. I know you only get $20 in, you know, every 2 weeks, you know, so you can't get no more. But I want to back up kind of to what I was talking about, what happened with Ricky. But when I was at the walls, a bunch of these old heads was paying me. And I tell you what they paid me for. They would pay me, and they'd buy a picture ticket. And what I had to do was take a picture, and these guys would take the photo and send it out to some woman out there, as if that was them. And after a while, you know, I'm thinking, man, this is not right, you know. So I told them, I said, hey guys, I don't want to do that no more, you know, that. They said, well, it's our hustle, man, you know, and we're trying to convince these girls. I said, well, what if they find out you're not, you know, who you say you are, you know? You're not a young person, you know? See, back then, today I don't think you could get away with it, because you can just look somebody up. They send you a picture of themselves. All you got to do is just look their name and number up and find out if that's them or not. But back then you couldn't do that so much, you know? So that's what I got for you today, you know? Just a little story about things people go through, and some of the things they may try, you know. They may say, oh, I broke my celly's TV. I need to buy him a new TV. He can't buy him a new TV. Only people who, only inmates can buy TVs for themselves. They can't buy it for other people, at least not in Missouri. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.